Hi students, welcome to the class. So today we are going to start with Indian economy. So what is it? Indian economy. So let me take a pen and yes, we can start today's class. So as you see, we are going to talk about Indian economy and we are going to stress about the development of India. Okay, and we are also going to talk about that why is Indian economy called as mixed economy. See, the only reason is because Indian economy is comprising with public sector, private sector and tertiary sector. So let's write it here. So if, as I said, that what is a mixed economy, because we have to know that what is mixed economy. So when we are talking about Indian economics, we have to know that it is called as a mixed economy which comprises, coincides with private and public sector. Okay, along with this we also have is tertiary sector. Okay, and together we get is the mixed economy. Okay, so as I said, public sector coincides with the private sector, so that is mixed economy. So that is a very important and vital point for you guys to understand, and you all students should know that when we are talking about Indian economy, we do not have to forget about mixed economy. Okay, so that is the thing. And today we are also going to talk about is the overview of Indian economy and how it is brought about. Okay, so we're going to talk about that also, as I said, So before we understand this, we also have to know that India is a vast country. India is a large country. It's very complex, very diverse. Okay, and before that, we also have to know that what is an economy. Okay, so let us just write this. Let me just rub this. As I said, as I told you, that what was the first thing which I told you was that Indian economy is basically comprising of mixed economies. Okay, so we'll just rub this and I will take you to economy. So economy, if I talk about in economics, because many people have not taken economics as one of your most important subjects, but when you are studying UPSC, please do not forget that that economics is one of the very important subjects. Okay, and it's vast. You have to study a lot, and every question will be comprising mostly with India and its development, India with relation with its foreign countries. So all that is very important. And one more vital thing is that, as I said, when we were talking about economy, so when in economics in generally, we say economy means it's something like a country, it can be a place, okay, and which deals with all the manufacturing industries, okay, where there is a buying and selling going on in a year. Okay, so buying and selling, okay, of goods and services. So there is a buyer here, okay, and there is a seller here, and where the seller is actually buying something, selling something, and the buyer is buying something. So it's like it's an area where you're comprising with land, labor, capital, then distribution, and then consumption of goods. So economy includes everything, and also so it includes land, labor, capital and the resources of a country. Okay, of a country. And also economy, you can also say that it includes the demand and supply. Okay, so demand and supply is also very important, because so that all includes is your economy. Okay, so now I think you should be well versed and you're clear to know that what is an economy. What did I tell you? That it's a vast area, and which has land, labor, capital and resources, and there is a demand and supply in the country, and there is a consumption of goods, and services of the area. Okay, so now coming to mixed economy, which I already told you that India is a mixed economy. Please write it down and please remember. So economy, mixed economy means it's like the public and the private sector when it coincides. Okay, and don't forget that India is also very good in tertiary sector. So what is tertiary sector? It is called as service sector. Okay, so right now, if you know, I'll give you a small general knowledge that India is almost in the second position of tertiary sector. Okay, and with that, we in Asia it is number one with China. Okay, and so we are basically getting entire, if you say our income or our national income is basically more, we are focusing on is the tertiary sector. And that is why if you see, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also spoken about, doing skill development, and he's doing so many things so that, we all be concentrating on service sector. So more than private sector and public sector, our general income this year, or most of the years from past 5 or 10 years, if you have seen that India is concentrating more on tertiary sector. Okay, so this is clear. So just let's rub this and let me go to the next part of it. Okay, so as I told you, because you have to remember these points, so let me just jot down and tell you what we have studied till now. So because that is also very important, because you have to know that and remember, once you're doing that, what we had actually studied about. So when we studied, as I said, that we are going to talk about that today is the introduction, and it is the first chapter. Okay, and I am basically starting about Indian economy, so it's all going to be on Indian economy. Okay, so we are going to basically focus on Indian economy, as I said. So let's start again. As I said, so what did I introduce you? I introduced to India. I introduced you to India. Okay, I introduced to Indian as a economy, as a big country. It's a vast area. Okay, it's a vast area where all your land, labor, capital, resources and distribution of goods and services are happening in a vast area of land, and that is called as economy. Yes, so very important. And one more thing also I told you. What did I tell you? Yes, India is a mixed economy. So what is a mixed economy? What did I tell you? Quickly tell me. So I said, when public sector coincides, okay, with the private sector, okay, and also it includes tertiary sector. So now we will talk more about mixed economy. I'll give you some examples. So like, India is not only focusing on public sector, it's also allowing the private sectors to do. Okay, so now private sector, when we are doing, it is concentrating more on the buying and the selling on the price. So the government interference is not there in the private sector, but in public sector the government is interfering completely. Okay, so here there is no monopoly, there is no pricing, there is no there's no market interference. Whatever the government decides, that only will be applicable. Okay, so say for example, there are certain goods. I will give you example, like onion, then sugar, then rice. All these basic items are taken care by the government. Okay, so private sectors are basically the other items which the government wants the private sectors also to be encouraged. Okay, so now when we will talk about some other coming up chapters, then you will understand, because today I will just talk about the basics. Okay, so as I told you also that there are buying and sellers in a market. So when you tell like when you're talking about market, so everybody knows that market is a place where there is a buying and selling of goods. So that is also very important. Okay, so that is a very important point also. And because buying and selling is happening in the market, and there are lots of, so there are generally big markets in India, and where you will find buyers and sellers. But there is a big problem which India is facing. So that is called as economic problem. Okay, so economic problem is very, very important. So let me just wrap this, and let's talk about is the economic problem which India is facing right now. So just let me just go and let me take an eraser. Okay, so we'll just rub these points meanwhile, and once we wrap this, I will tell you the major problem, that is the economic problem. So as I said, because the more and more you will be closer to India, you will come to know that why is India having the problems, and what is the major problem which India is suffering. Because in your questions they will ask you that, being such a big country, what is the major problem which India is facing. So that is why you have to know. Okay, so when we will talk about it, we will talk about the economic problem. So it is also called as economic problem, or in other ways it can also be spoken as problems of an economy. Okay, so now to understand India better, as I told you that you have to know the problems of an economy. So let us, as I said, let us just begin with it. So it is like, there are means of resources. So every country has means of resources. Okay, but in India the means of resources are very scarce. Okay, so how do we solve the problems? We have to find an alternative. Okay, so if we find an alternative, then only we will be able to solve the problem. So that is a major issue. Okay, so India is basically a very big country, but India has a lot of scarcity of resources, and we have to use those resources with a huge population. So that is the major problem. So as I said, is like the scarce means have to find some alternative resources to overcome the economic problem. So let us understand the first thing is the causes. Okay, so we will go with the causes. Let me just rub this. Okay, so I will go with the causes so that we can study in definition, because I will explain to you the major causes of economic problems. So there are generally, if you see in general, that is what you have to remember in your exams also, that there are three major problems. Okay, so first is unlimited wants. Okay, then the second is limited, okay, so limited scarce, or what you call, or limited wants, or scarce resources. Okay, scarce resources. And third thing which I told you also is alternative uses. So these are the basic problems on the economy. It's not only because of India, guys. Any country will have, if a country is suffering from an economic problem, a country has to undergo these problems. Which one? This one. The unlimited ones, the limited, because the resources are limited or they are scarce, and what we have to do is we have to use alternative uses. I'll give you an example. Say for example, say I like tea, okay, and I have coffee. Okay, so now what is happening is tea is not there. Okay, but I have to use an alternative. So what can I do? I can go for coffee. Okay, so that is also a beverage which we drink a lot. Okay, so this is the way we use it. So I'll give you examples right now. In Bangalore, so that there is a huge resource problem, scarcity of electricity. So that is why we generally use this solar energy. Okay, so that is the alternative uses. So but problem is, in India we are not being able to find the alternative uses. So the more we have options, the basic reason to solve this problem is to get options. So the more you get options, you will be able to solve the problem. So that is the very important point, guys. So first is, what is the first point? As I said, it's unlimited wants. Okay, so wants are unlimited because see, everybody loves wants. Okay, so like today you like a car, so after 5-10 years you would like to go for a more expensive car. So your wants are limited. Okay, unlimited in fact, your dreams are unlimited. You just today what you want, tomorrow you may need something else. So your desires are unlimited. And in this pressure, what is happening, the resources which is with you is scarce. For example, I have 1 lakh of rupees and I am dreaming of BMW. So that means my resources is scarce, right? So but I have to keep dreaming. So what I can do is I can go for an alternative. I can go for a loan or for a car loan, So that is the alternative which I'm saying. And where, I can go for a car loan and I can maybe fulfill my dreams, not to BMW, but to some other car. So that is very important. Okay, so that is what is going to happen, and that is why India is suffering, because India is not being able to get the alternative uses properly, and also the resources are scarce. Now there's one more reason, because because of a huge population, skilled laborers are less. So there are many reasons, but the basic reasons are these three things which I told you. One is unlimited wants, the next is limited or scarce resources, and alternative resources. Okay, so let's just come back again to what I have spoken till now. Let me just clear this screen. Okay, so as I said, so that you remember, let me see how much is your memory, how much you remember, because today is the first class. So we're going to talk about it, and we are going to see that how much we remember, because jotting down the points and writing is very important, because if you don't do that, then it is very difficult for you to recollect. Okay, because as I said already, that economics is a vast syllabus, and there's a lot of gen knowledge which you need to know. So the first thing I said is I introduced, okay, and I introduced India And I said about Indian economy. Yes, very good. So you remember Indian economy. And I also spoke about mixed economy. Yes, I spoke about mixed economy. So mixed economy is very, very important. Okay. Then I spoke about what is an economy. Okay. And the fifth thing which I said is what are the basic problems of an economy. Okay, so this is what we have done for today. Okay, so if I make it into a question, I will say that what type of, suppose if I say what type of economy is India. So what is your answer going to be? A mixed economy. Okay, so then I will say then what are the what is the meaning of an economy? Suppose if I say that what is the meaning of an economy, say for example, if I say what is the meaning of an economy, so then you can say it's a vast area. Okay, so it's a vast area. Yes, that will be your answer. Or where land, labor and capital is distributed in a vast area. Yes. And if I ask you what is a mixed economy, you can also say in the options that when public sector coincides with private sector, we get a mixed economy. Okay, including, you can also write tertiary sector. Now, if I ask you what is a tertiary sector, what is the next alternative you remember? You will say tertiary sector means service sector. So that is very important, guys. So you need to know. And the last and the least, if I ask you the question, what are the basic problems of an economy? So the first thing you will tell is that wants are unlimited. Yes, I repeat, wants are unlimited. Second point I will say is resources are limited, so it can be limited or it can be scarce. Yes, the second point. The third point we are basically going to very, very vital point, how to problem or how to solve the problem is alternative. Yes, so alternative resources are very, very important. Okay, so please mark it or write it down, because that are the three basic problems of an economy. Okay, so please remember this, and so that you when you rehearse, you remember that this is very, very important. Okay, so right, let's go to the next topic, shall we shall go to the next topic now. So I will take you one more straight ahead. So just let me rub this. I think it's crystal clear right now for you. Okay, so we can go to the next topic of the discussion. And it's going to be very interesting, like how we have done, because I'm going to make it as simple as it is, so that even if a person is not from the economics background, can understand. Okay, because it's not necessary that you have to know economics, because that is my job. I have to make it easy for you so that you understand, and you understand that what we are exactly talking about. So we are going to talk about all about Indian economics and what is India all about, and how India is facing financially and monetarily, because economics is all got to do with business and commerce. Okay, so you have to remember this. So we are going to talk about that. Okay, so we'll go with the next topic. Yes, let me write it down. So it is economic development. Okay, so economic development, so it's like what is economic development? See, when a country it's like a process. Let's see. Okay, it's a process. It's like it doesn't start from now, it develops slowly, slowly, slowly. So it's like when it is sustaining, so sustain means continuous. So it's a continuous process. See, economic development is a continuous process. Okay, it's not like every now if you do it and your development is over. See, even if a country like America, it's a first world country. Okay, it's a developed country, but still it is developing. So it is continuous in the process. It's like sustaining. So what happens is like continuously, if you're developing, you're becoming bigger as a country in all the resources, all your problems are solving. So what will happen is it will add the national income. Yes, it will add the national income. So basically it's a process. Okay, it's a continuous process of sustain or a long term increase of your national income for a long period will give you a economic development. So it's a long term development process. Okay, and you have to continuously do this development, so that end level, that all your entire national income, means the entire income of the country is overall increased. So if you see right now, since the time of independence, India has done a lot of development. It's not like it's not done. Okay, though right now due to this pandemic situation, India is striving very hard to come back to its normalcy. But if you see that the development has happened, so it's not that it is not happening, because as I said, it's a long process of and it can be sustained. It's a long term increase of national income for a long period of time. So let us just first understand and study the characteristics. Okay, so we will go into the characteristics. Okay, so let me just clear this board. Okay, and so you can meanwhile think about what kind of economic development. So if you talk about China also, let me, while I'm talking to you, China also was sleeping 50 years before. Okay, so it's just has increased, its economic development has increased to like almost 150% jump it has done. Okay, and that is why you're seeing that the national income of China is 5 times bigger than India, because of its huge development. Okay, now there are many reasons that we will discuss later, but right now I'm trying to tell you that how economic development happens, and it's a slow process, and it's a continuous process, and it happens for a long period of time. Slowly increasing your national income will give you economic development. So now we will talk about is the characteristics. Okay, so the first characteristics is, as I said, I already spoken to you, is a continuous process. Yes, so it's a continuous process, and what does it do? It increases, okay, in national income. Okay, third also I will say the same thing, it increases the per capita income. Now here I think you don't know what is the meaning of the per capita income. So per capita income means income per day of an individual. Say if it's India, so income per person, okay, into the population will give you national income. So it is like is called as per capita, not per capita income, it's national income. So that means what? So if national income is there, that is the total income of the country divided by the population, we will get is per capita income. Simple. Is as simple as it is. Okay, so that means every person is earning, and I'm earning, you're earning, everybody is earning. So we are contributing to the nation total of all the population. If you multiply each and individual income into the population, we will get national income. And how we are going to judge is per capita income by dividing national income upon population, and that you will get is per capita income. It's as simple. So if somebody asks you what is national income, you will just write per capita income into population is national income. So that is very important. And one more thing, guys. So now when you're talking about economic development, because remember I told you about the problem of solving economic problem, So basically we have to exploit. So exploit the natural resources. Okay, so now India has a lot of natural resources, but unfortunately we are not exploiting. So the more and more we utilize the natural resources, we will be able to increase our overall economic development. So that is very important, guys. So remember, let us talk about it. As I told you, it's a long process. So these are the characteristics in front of you. It's a continuous process. It increases the national income of a country. It increases the per capita of the per country, like a per individual income is also increased. And last and the least, it is the exploitation of natural resources. So whatever the country has is natural. Now if you talk about USA, it is so big in economic development because it exploits completely its natural resources. Okay, so if you see, there are 50 states in India, in United States. In 50 states in United States, they completely exploit each and every state. Okay, so if you exploit each and every state, then only you will be able to progress very high in your economic development. Okay, so I'll see you next in the next class. Okay, after this, thank you so much, guys.